Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sayyid Muhammad and I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Apollo Telecom. First of all, thanks to Team Locos for providing the opportunity to express my thoughts on the subject. Today I'm going to set the stage by making the case why we need to be getting ready to welcome year 2025, especially after the lesson learned during recent pandemic. Companies that were doing well before the epidemic are struggling, while those who had digital transformation completed before COVID-19 are thriving. Things could change dramatically by the end of 2021, obviously if the world can handle COVID-19 situation. Examples of changes observed during the pandemic are the rapid pace of technical change, the increasing power of social media to influence customer behavior, and the rapid flow of private capital into aggressive startups. Now let's jump directly to our topic. To set the background, we need to see how business strategy will look like in 2025. To help your business adapt more effectively as the pace of change accelerates, here are the 5 ways business strategy will be different in 2025. Forces beyond your company controls are always shifting. Some may benefit your business while others may be harmful. Leaders should employ a rigorous approach to anticipate which developing forces will compel a strategy revision. Clients, current and potential, are the best area to look for real change indicators. To better understand clients' goal, business strategists should talk to them about their future worries. Business leaders will need to make key choices to reposition their company to capture the opportunities and defense against the threat. These strategic choices are which customer group to serve, which customer need to serve, what product to offer, and how to perform key activities such as product development, manufacturing, sales, etc. In 2025, to obtain insights, make strategic decisions, and set their own KPIs, CEOs will need to approach their employees like entrepreneurs. The CEO will provide the requested resources to the team and keep every individual accountable for their acts. These 5 changes will accelerate the competition for market share. Don't get left behind. So having discussed business strategical transformation, now see how IT will match the pace of this revolution. As per my knowledge and experience, 2 segments need attention of today's leaders. IT infrastructure, technical HR. So before jumping to these areas, let's sit up in our chairs and gaze out at what 2025 will look like upfront. You are now flooded with numerous technologies. In 2025, the majority of what you see here will be common. The challenge will be to identify best practices for implementation and operations. And frankly, many of the technologies on this list will likely be legacy by 2025, leaving you with a whole new set of technologies. The challenge then and now will be how to introduce and enable those technologies to your users. So beside the technology aspect at glance, what 2025 look like? Your application and infrastructure will be everywhere. There will be tools that manage the hybrid nature of all. The tools will have machine learning and AI baked in. There will be interconnected services, some that you created, others that are created by external entities. Automation will be the lifeblood for success. Your organization will be much more virtual than they are now, with traditional and non-traditional staffing. On the vendor front, I would guess that most of you can identify your strategic vendors on the screens here. Well, it's going to be changed in 2025. Not only will there be many more new vendors, but chances are you will have different strategic partners in 2025, and many of the vendors that you now deal with will operate under different banners. On a process front, automation is to the modern infrastructure what blood is to the body. You cannot have modern infrastructure without automations. What we currently see is a lot of automation already available, most of which is very much reactive. Some of the more mature organizations are being a bit more proactive with it. But to be competitive enough and to be the successful in the future, you must evolve from IT task automation and IT service automation to business service automations. And with business service automation, I mean the hedging of the underlying infrastructure automation activities with effective business processes. In 2025, you will need to incorporate multi-purpose lists within your staffing strategies. You will need to also to break up the hierarchical organizations, make them to be much more fluid, much more virtual. And you will also need to consider and deploy context-based role where the context is easily associated with a desirable business outcome. In terms of metrics, we have seen progress over the past few years. with many companies now oriented around services and associated their metrics with it. But in 2025, the bottom line will be how are you enabling the business? How are you helping your colleagues to be successful in their respective business? So again, we are back to customer satisfaction. How happy are those that are consuming your services? That is going to be the bottom line for 2025. For future, you must bring your ideas and know your customers more efficiently. There is a key that you must follow, and this key has two themes. The one is around enhancing the quality of existing services, and the second theme is around building customer intimacy. So the key takeaway is that you must prioritize innovation delivery over infrastructure management. So as we previously visualized and realized, the future of IT is the state of continuous change, which can be scary and exciting both. But we all learned so far, change is the new normal. Now let's see how and what to do to welcome the future. We need to stop bad practices that create high technical debt by enabling clear strategy like this. Want to disrupt the status quo when your goal is to improve quality and achieve maturity? You must replace fragile, static, outdated systems, methods, and processes when your goal is to enable agility. Now the question is, how do I prepare my infrastructure for future? Well, in order to keep up the fast pace of change, you simply need to rethink everything. You need to recognize that world is not about data center or the public cloud. You must design for the world where infrastructure will be everywhere. We need a connected, intelligent architecture that spans data centers, edge, and the cloud, and will provide solid foundation for modern application development, real-time machine analytics, and also be built on the rock-solid cybersecurity. From traditional to cloud-native application, from on-prem to cloud and to the edge. I want you to think modularity is an enabler of high-level services that can deliver infrastructure mobility intelligent, which will deliver on self-driving operations. Intelligent infrastructure will optimize itself by use of machine learning, predictive analysis, and auto-tuning. Now let's quickly jump to last segment, which is HR preparation. Talent, not capital. Global economies are now transforming into knowledge societies. We need to develop proper ecosystem for knowledge transfer. Few years back, I had a chance to read a wonderful book, Talent Cities by Patrick Hamilton, out of which I thought to share these 5 C's of talent, which I firmly believe is essential for future preparation of the manpower. Billion-dollar question, how to energize people. I outline few areas to start with. Make them learn how to attack and defend at the same time. Convert your conversations from focus on failure to focus on value. Realize them the value of innovation. There are few key steps to energize people. Embrace, transform, equip. In a nutshell, transform them from technology expert to business leaders. Let's look at the competencies of future's effective teams. They must be agent of change, should understand each and every bit of business along with their IT skills, must have very strong emotional intelligence. We must take an active role in preparing our staff to transition away from traditional job to the area where we have the greatest needs and opportunities. In this example from Ernst & Young, we could see how they use the self-assessment of skills in order to identify different potential roles and the skill gap that are required in order to navigate to those future potential benefits. Ernst & Young is a great model for us to learn from. After all, they have made 21 consecutive appearances on Fortune magazine's 100 best companies to work for list. And therefore, there is probably some lesson that we can learn from them. Team development approach is a subject which every leader must master in. There are few points to be discussed. Career paths are not linear. Taking staff to transition away from traditional jobs to the greater needs and opportunities. We must engage employees directly in assessment process. We must give options for growth. We must give them support needed for this transition. We need stronger relationship with HR leaders to help in such transitions. Rather spending time on new hire, we need to give options for smart, motivated employees to increase their value regardless what they work today. I am really grateful for giving me time and hearing me out. I would love to hear from the audience. You can reach me at the contact written below. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and good luck for upcoming awards. Goodbye.